Hello and welcome once again to an online content video for my Music Humanities class. I'm Brad, and this will be the last online video we're doing about the Renaissance. We're in the late Renaissance now, of course, and we're going to talk about entertainment and what was happening. Europe was becoming kind of nice towards the end of the Renaissance. The plague had kind of run its course, and many of the interminable wars were kind of winding down, and people were having it pretty good. We're verging on the Enlightenment here, and good things are happening. There's a growing merchant middle class, a lot of disposable income, and the nobles were living pretty well. As a result, when I talked about Josquin and others, they obviously were writing music for entertainment purposes in many cases, although primarily a lot of their work was still funded by the church. But that was beginning to shift towards the end of the Renaissance. And let me just play you a piece here by a composer from Germany named Michael Praetorius. And he was 1571 to 1621. So right at the very end of this 1400 to 1600 Renaissance. And think about how this music might have been used. Okay. Yeah, it's got a nice kind of drive to it. It's all instrumental. This was obviously used for entertainment. In fact, this is a dance. Here's another piece. It's titled Curante. Curante was actually a dance, the name of a dance. So these were done at festivals. These were done for, again, entertainment. This is done for people to have fun with. Here we go with the Curante. So you're hearing, all of that, the counterpoint, not the counterpoint, you're hearing all the polyphony that, they've been developing through the course of the centuries. But again, this is purely instrumental. It's not done for religious purposes. The Pope's not saying, I can't hear the words. This is done because people wanted to have fun. And we're going to take a trip now to a very interesting kind of development or place. Like I said, Michael Praetorius, he's based in Germany. A lot of the action was still happening down in Italy. But sort of isolated from all this was Britain, United Kingdom. And a very interesting musical phenomena was taking place there. Again, they were having disposable income too. But the thing that they really liked was words. And they came up with a form of music that we call the madrigal, which was done, again, primarily not primarily. It was done exclusively for entertainment, and we're going to kind of take a tour through the madrigals. Let me give you the timeline here to show you where we are. Okay, again, we're in the late Renaissance. The madrigals all happened between about 1550 and 1600, and they're kind of the closest that we're going to come for a while to what we would consider kind of contemporary songs. Again, like I said, they're all about the text. This is a time of Shakespeare back in England, and it was fiercely homophonic. This was something that, really was designed to project what the words were about. In fact, you actually know what a madrigal is, even if you don't know it, or at least most of you will. I'm going to play you an example of a really good madrigal, and some of you will recognize the title even.
La 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 la, la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly. La 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 la, la 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 la. Don't we now our gay apparel? La 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 la.
Again, you're hearing the polyphony, you're hearing the different parts, but it's all very homophonic. You can hear the words very, very well. And the other thing that it has nonsense syllables. This is all part of the verbal play that they liked. In particular, you'll hear a whole lot of fa la las in madrigal songs and other things, of course. But this is all part of the fun. Now, I need to tell you a little bit about how these madrigals were performed. Again, you might imagine that maybe after a big feast, a Christmas feast or something like this, performers would come out and they would sing these songs. Well, that probably happened, but almost more that happened was that they would actually pass out parts, and all the people at the feast would sing along. This is kind of the you could tell if you were an educated person because you could read the music and you could sing, and everybody would kind of join in these madrigal dinners. It was kind of a big social kind of fun thing. So let me take you through a tour of the madrigals. This is a piece by a madrigal composer named Thomas Morley. I'm not going to bother to write down when they were born. It was all about 1550 to 1600 is when they lived, okay? Very kind of concentrated thing. And this is a piece called Now is the Month of May. I'm going to bring up the words for you to see too, because they are kind of fun, okay? Let's go here. Okay, month of Maying. Okay, so here we go. And here we go. I'm going to start the song.
Now is the month of May, when merry lads are playing. Fa la 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 la, fa la 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 la. Now is the month of May, when merry lads are playing. Fa la 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 la, fa la 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 la. Each with his bonny lass upon the greeny grass. Fa la 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 la.
It's just, each with his bonny lass upon the greeny grass. I mean, come on, that's kind of silly. And that's kind of the point, these composers made a lot of money selling these pieces. There was a burgeoning publishing industry happening, especially now in London with this music. And Thomas Morley was actually part of that. He was a publisher. He was also the organist for St. Paul's. So he had a pretty good life, Things were not too bad for him. Let me play you a Dowland piece, Fine Knacks for Ladies. Let me get up the words for this. Okay. Hang on a half second. Go here and we'll go open recent. Here we go. Okay, here we go. This is John Dowland. Oh, I forgot to write him down. Okay. Sting, about 10 or 15 years ago, actually did an album of pieces by Dowland. You can go out and buy it. Again, kind of reclaiming his British heritage, I guess, or something. But let's go ahead and get this going here. Okay, so.
Fine necks for ladies, cheap choice brave and new, good penny words, but money cannot move. I keep a fair, but for the fair to view, I beg a lady liberal of love. Though all my wares meet match, the heart is true, the heart is true, the heart is true. Though.
So you can also hear these are, fiercely secular pieces too. Dowland was actually Catholic, which made him kind of interesting in Britain at the time. But these are about love. These are about, fine necks for ladies. These are about, all kinds of interesting, interpersonal relationships because, again, they were entertainment. They were being sung after a big feast where, people were wanting to hear about love and entertainment and things like that, and they developed, kind of particular stylistic aspects to this. Okay, I'm going to play a very famous madrigal by a guy named Thomas Weelkes. Okay, and the particular thing. Well, let me play it and. I'll describe what's happening. We're going to go back and listen to this piece again. Okay, this is called As Vesta Was from Latmos Hill. And let me get this up here, okay? Okay, and I'll start it out here.
As Vesta was from Latmos Hill,
Okay, nice madrigal, but there's something going on here that was part and parcel of, people just thought this was really cool. It's the employment of a thing called a madrigalism, or sometimes this is also called word painting. And it is the idea that you are going to illustrate in the music what the words are about. Like I said, these are all about the text. Okay, I'm going to play it again, and I'm going to bring this over so I can kind of control the playback while you watch this at the same time. All right, and let me get this kind of rearranged here a little bit so you can see the words, okay? And pay close attention now to what's going on with the words. I'm going to be interrupting this quite a bit, okay? Here we go. Okay, from Latmos Hill. From Latmos Hill. It's going up because it's a hill. And what happens when you get up to the top? Descending, descending. Right, you see what's going on? She spied a maiden queen the same. And what's the maiden queen? Ascending. Okay, so you heard them all ascending, right? Ascending, ascending. Okay, now here's where it really gets really, really silly here. Okay, the darlings came. Listen to running down a main, and then this line, and yeah, that line in particular. Okay, so we're gonna go through this. Yeah, they're really running. They're running down a main, by golly.
Then three by three together.
Yeah, there you go. 2 by 2, 2 by 2, two singers, right? 3 by 3, 3 by 3, three singers, then all three together. Yeah, that's just this classic madrigalism, and people just thought that was just marvelous. And it's good because poor old Thomas Weelkes had some problems, and it was good he was able to sell his songs. Thomas Morley was his friend. Like I said, he was publishing this stuff, and he helped him quite a bit by selling his music because apparently Weelkes had a drinking problem. And he was actually appointed, through his friends, composer friends. All these guys kind of knew each other and kind of liked each other. He was appointed as the church organist for Winchester Cathedral. But he was fired because he urinated on the dean from the organ loft during evensong. Yeah. These guys knew how to live, by golly, but Thomas Weelkes, man, not so good to urinate on the dean, okay? Let me play you a couple more, and we'll wind it up here. This is by a composer named John Bartlett. And not too much is known about him. He had a private employer, and we have some of his songs, but basically he didn't publish them out for the public. This is basically for people. And here, this one's kind of interesting because it's not going to be fa la la, but you're going to hear another use of a nonsense syllable that's kind of tied to the words. In fact, let me bring the words up here for you. Here we go. Okay, and here we go. Play this Bartlett piece.
Of all the birds that I do know, Philip my sparrow hath no peer. For sit she high or sit she low, be she far off or be she near, there is no bird so fair, so fine, nor yet so fresh as this of mine. For when she once hath felt a fit, Philip will cry still yet, 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 yet. For when she once hath felt her feet, Philip will cry still yet, 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 yet.
Right, that's it. Yet, 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 yet. Taking a syllable and making it nonsense. That was the joy of these madrigals. Okay? And I'm going to play another piece here. It's not properly a madrigal song. This is by a composer named William Byrd, also very well known from that era. And this one, it's, like I said, it's not really a madrigal song. It's a bard song. So this would have been sung maybe in a bar or something like that. Let me get it up here. Who made the hob? Yeah. Okay. And this is what it sounded like. It's a solo piece, you know, with some instruments, but yeah.
Who made the hob forsake the plough and fall in love? Sweet beauty which hath power to bow the gods above. What dost thou serve, a shepherdess? I such as hath no peer, I guess.
Yeah, so they're trading off the songs, but this again would have been more of a drinking song, I guess. You know, it doesn't have the polyphony; it has these instruments, but I'm not sure the instruments were really notated in the original piece. Okay, now it's even though this was predominantly, and I wouldn't say exclusively, of course, a British phenomenon. Again, there's communication happening in Europe, and others heard about this, and they thought, wow, that's kind of fun. Hey, I have an employer too. They might get a kick out of some of this stuff. So here's a piece by Josquin, actually, done towards the latter part of his life. And it's called El Grillo. And this probably would have been performed for the nobles in Italy. They didn't probably participate like they did in England. But here's how it sounds. So again, if you can speak Italian, you're hearing some of that as nonsense words, you know, because he's picking up on that from the madrigals. Again, you know, people thought this was kind of great entertainment. And a contemporary of his came a little bit later, was a guy named Giovanni Gastaldi. Okay, I'll put them down here. Again, another Italian, and he actually borrowed the whole 9 yards with the fa la la's and everything.
Tutti venite armati, o forti miei soldati, fa la 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 la, fa la 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 la. Tutti venite armati, o forti miei soldati, fa la 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 la, fa la 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 la. Io sono la vita amore.
So again, that's almost like, you know, a classical madrigal. But again, it was doubtful that the Italians actually sang this like the British did, you know. There are other places too in Europe where these madrigals kind of caught on. Here's one that's particularly indicative of poor old Germany. This is by Hans Hassler. Okay. He studied in Venice, went back. He was an organist in Augsburg, Germany. Let me see if I have my map here. Nah, it's not worth getting up. And this is called Ach weh des Leiden. And let me bring up the words for you, because this is I wouldn't say it's a typical German madrigal. Okay, let me find it here. But it's different from your typical English madrigals that were kind of full of, you know, knacks for ladies and, you know, fine lads on the greeny grass and stuff like this. Let me play it.
Ach, weh des Leiden, muss es denn sein gescheiden? Ach, weh des Leiden,
Yes, it's a sad madrigal. Oh my goodness, but again, these are very human, very, love-oriented sentiments. What sorrow I feel, must we part? Alas, poor me. Oh, if I must give you up, it will cost me my life. This is not Kyrie. This is not Lord have mercy. This is like, straight ahead human emotion. And the British weren't immune from that either. This is the last one I'm going to play. This is by a composer named Thomas Tompkins. And I want to play this one for a particular reason because it's hysterical. Okay, I'll just give you that much. Let me bring this up here. Actually, I won't even bother to show you the words. You're going to get the sense of it. Okay, here we go. Too much I once lamented. Well, his heart is tormented. He's lamenting, and all kinds of bad things are happening. Love, bad things. But here's the part that blows me away. Okay, he's finishing his lamenting, and then you get to this. Yeah, they're sad fa la las. I mean, this is like something directly from Monty Python. Fa la 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 la. I mean, oh, those madrigals, they're just loads of fun. Anyhow, that's going to kind of end it for the Renaissance right now. Next time, we're going to start talking about the Baroque, and we'll go from there.